Okay, okay. Today's date is the 28th of June, 2026. The time now is 9:08 p.m. So 9:08 p.m. We have 9:08 p.m. So I'm gonna show you what I mean on my computer. So the camera is here. Let me add a scene. Let me add a video capture. Just camera. Yeah, put it here. Close it down. Okay, so today I'm going to speak on the system here. So basically, this is my boomerang. Well, this is not even the because I use it to do this. But this is power, rotation, shift, power. What's the whole purpose of this document? Just summary. This is not important. This is what AI slop is. I hate it. But okay, so basically, the boomerang, basically, I found a way to intercept a ballistic missile, and that's called the boomerang. So let me just watch. I haven't found a way to insert. I haven't like It's kind of like weird because I can do the maths as well. If I don't do the maths, I'm just like talking. It's stupid, for me to think about these things like the way I think about them. But I have no doubt. I don't have doubt actually that I'm going the right direction. So, okay, basically, let me show you a boomerang throwing a boomerang. So, throwing a boomerang, boomerang throwing. How to throw and return a big ones. Okay, basically, basically, this is how it works. Where's my So this is how a boomerang works. Just watch and you can see what I mean. Sideways. Okay. So you don't throw a boomerang sideways. I thought you threw it sideways, but it reminds me why I called boomerang. So basically, it's basically ellipticals. No, that's not what I'm thinking. That's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of the focus here. So you throw a boomerang sideways. Bam. Okay. Vertically. Okay. So the same principles apply here. Is it basically the idea was to model a blazing wheel because a blazing wheel to roll upward the launch vertically, and this I'm trying to for me I was trying to intercept the blazing wheel missile, like I never know what I'll do with it, but I've never done this before, but it's just the same concept. I call it boomerang. So I wasn't really expect. I'm not gonna talk trash about it, but if it does work in the real world, I don't know. I don't own a black to try it on. But people try to hack this for years. People trying to hack because it's if you have curved take up, you can always if you have a launch elliptic if you have something that launches like a mortar strike that launches with a curve, you're gonna have a time interval. You're gonna know, gonna can predict it, but because it's launches with the quadratic formula, so you can predict the trajectory and why it's flying. Basically, everything's on the fly when you hack it. Can predict actually with the quadratic formula. Y equals a negative boy. Y equals a negative boy. You couldn't decide. Y equals just the all theory. It's all theory to me. Negative boy squared couldn't decide whether to go radical part of the b square. He lose 4c minus 2a. Y. This is quadratic formula. A negative boy squared couldn't decide square root to go to radical party. Being square, he tells you not to go missing and force some checks. The party wasn't over until 2 a.m. So this is a quadratic formula that determines the interval of time uh, 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 YT. I call it YT because that's more. It's not just Y. It's an interval in time. So this is more accurate for me to define it, and it works there. So this is the same principle, but it's if you can study the truth of uh, you know, that's terrible. You throw it vertically. Look, everyone's throwing it vertically. No, it's more or less. Uh, Basically, the return is like the return is like I'm just thinking theoretically, because no one's able to hack these things to the kind of ballistics because but this is how the golden dome works. I'm not thinking about hacking the golden. I don't know. Just basically, I'm just watching a lot of things on the internet. I'm not really a threat to American soil sovereignty. I'm not really. I don't care about America. I mean, enough to hack to be able to intervene in their affairs. Because a lot of people do care and do want to intervene, but this is how the golden dome works. I'm just keeping up to date to it. So you got basically the basically let's look at how a ballistic missile work, how a ballistic missile works because it's interconnected. So how an ICBM works, how does it work? It's like it's like mm, you see, yeah, you see, it goes vertically. See, it goes vertically. See, it launches vertically. This see, this is an interconnect ICBM, interconnected ballistic missile. You see, it launches vertically. This is why you can't hack it because it travels vertically. You see, okay, basically, I'm taking my notes here. So I'm taking my notes. So, rain, Trident. I'm not British, by the way. Yeah, this is pretty havoc. Oh no, I'm glad I could get an ICM. So I can design an ICBM, and but I don't think this could be hacked. I don't know, but this is a very vague video. I'm like, explaining the Pythagoras, this is not Pythagorean. This is a lot of vector calculus. Differential equations, partial, this is basically in the territory of what topic is this? Some domain, because but basically the idea was to ever hack or intercept one of these ballistic missile. You're gonna use a boomerang. You're gonna emulate it. You're gonna use like not like a boomerang, but basically the boomerang model. Basically how the boomerang takes off. So basically it takes off vertically. So if you can intercept it, it doesn't take up with a parabolic curve. It has to go into the atmosphere, and you can see how it's returning to you. Because you already keep track of the system. But, it's just use a boomerang to do it. The boomerang model I call it to do it. But that's what I'm saying. It's not a. It has to be a boomerang. You know, basically, see, or basically, it's not a boomerang model. Basically, it's if you want to ever, if you want to ever like work against a ballistic missile, you have to acknowledge the boomerang model. Like, you're gonna understand the boomerang model because the boomerang is like, the booms are thrown vertically, and the same are launched vertically. Same with the ICBMs, and anything that wants to work with the work with the missiles, interconnected balloons, which have to work with like the curvature of the boomerang and the vision and phases. So if it the phaser vertical takeoff, and then it launch basically starts to spin, it starts to circle around because the boomerang circle around. That's the target. It has to phase one takeoff, and then phase two target phase two to the target lock on, let's say lock on, uh uh unlock, and phase three will be, you see, I remember this because I, I just remembered it because it's kind of like in case I'm just contributing to the knowledge of it, but it's just, yeah, it's locked, yeah. It may be useful if I can remember what I was talking about, but you know, this is, yeah, it's locked. This is just my work on the system. Boom on feedback loop. Yeah, yeah. So I'm saying. So let me just make the video now. Stock. So basically, if you want to ever work with the ballistic missile, a Jerusalem algorithm just used the kind of boomerang model, and the boomerang has a vertical takeoff, like wants it to fly vertically, and then change its course, change direction, pick a target, lock onto something, and then basically called phases, and the phases are magnetic, so you can always relock on, go back to a phase, but I don't really think that that's a good idea. Just to make sure this video is coherent, this video is about the boomerang, like a boomerang, and how it connects to ICBMs. Because I saw like a kind of a connection between the two, how it takes off and how the boomerang takes off. So, because I'm not building an ICBM, I'm not building anything. I don't have the money to do that. But I'm just saying there's a connection between. Maybe you can use it to hack an ICBM. Maybe you can't, but it takes off vertically. It doesn't take off. It tastes like a boomerang. Same thing. It behaves exactly like a boomerang. I'm just I'm saying, it takes off like a boomerang. So it's like there's one to one. There's an isomorphism in the properties of the takeoff. of the launch and the return and the flight path and everything that goes there. So maybe someone day one day has to be born with this. I think I may be wrong, but there's I didn't study that kind of thing in school, but we'll see. Thank you.